What's up, YouTube? It's Marcus Reynald here again to tell you about my third month in my music production bachelor's program at Full Sail. All right, let's go. All right, so this month my class is, all right, get ready for it, it's a mouthful. Audio Arts in the Entertainment and Media Industries, AEM for short. All right, so this class is basically a career information class. It's essentially, these are jobs in the industry that you could do. These are salaries you'll make. This is how you get into them. This is the career path, etc., etc., etc. It's a pretty broad, non-specific course. Keep in mind, the first 4 months are pretty much general ed, and this is one of those. Okay, so the first week consisted of a few things. There was the lecture as usual, and then there were a few assignments. The assignments that we had to do included a job salary research. So we had to look at specific careers we were interested in and then use the BLS website to figure out a practical salary range for that job. You know, not your one in a millions who can command millions upon millions a year, but you know, just the average person in that position and what they would make a year. And then another assignment we had to do was a career skills analysis. That's where we took the careers we were interested in and figured out what we would have to do in order to obtain that career, whether it was entry level or whether it was advanced and maybe senior or even executive level. All right, going forward, this is when the class actually started getting a little bit interesting. In our second week, we had a collaborative assignment, you could say. It wasn't a group assignment, but our work was dependent upon others in the course. One of our assignments was a record flowcharts assignment. And what we did is we took a record in a genre that we were interested in, and we had a spreadsheet in which we had to essentially fill out the metadata. Pretty much got most of our information from AllMusic. Some of the information we had to input included the producers, the songwriters, the artist, the year it was made, and essentially all technical and creative personnel. We just had to go find those credits and list those. And then our next assignment was a forum post where we took our flowchart and compared it to someone else's flowchart in a different genre, just maybe to see the difference in the number of producers, the number of songwriters, the number of musicians, the number of electronic musicians, you know, versus pop versus rock or country, where the latter two you may have more musicians, whereas the first one you may have less names because one person's programming majority of what you hear. And we just had to see maybe how different genres stacked up against each other when it came to putting together a record. The next week was pretty interesting. It touched on the legalities concerning music, which is an interesting topic for me. I like copyright. I like intellectual property. I like understanding how that stuff works and learning how to take advantage of it to your benefit. That's one thing about music and music business specifically that interests me, is intellectual property and copyright. One of our assignments in this week, we had to go look up copyright, and we had to look up trademark. We had to look up the different elements of a copyright and do some research, find out some terms, just get a good understanding of it. Also on trademark, and then we had to understand the difference between copyright and trademark, which gives me an idea. Because I'm so interested in those, I might do a video on those. If you're interested in hearing an explanation of the difference between a copyright and a trademark, how you go about getting them, what you use them for, and how they could help protect your intellectual property, drop a comment below in the comment section and let me know, and I'll put that together for you. And then the last assignment we had in this week was to pick a hot topic concerning a legal battle going on currently in the music industry. The one I picked was Ed Sheeran getting sued by the Marvin Gaye estate. It was kind of hard to pick a legal topic for me. I guess big and current, it's kind of hard. If you wanted to go maybe smaller or even already settled, that would be easier. The interesting thing about that particular lawsuit is that its decision was going to heavily influence the lawsuit concerning Led Zeppelin and Spirit, or I can't say its decision is going to, its decision did heavily influence that lawsuit. And then in the last week, this week was probably the most interesting week that we had. One assignment that we had was pretty simple. We had to do some career planning, and it was essentially writing down what we would like our website to be, or how we would want to outline our portfolio, things like that. And it would be filled in later on during our program. The major assignment for the week was to essentially act as either an artist or a record label, and we could either be an indie record label or a major record label, and we had to put together a chain of contracts. So depending on who you were, your job was to either sign an artist or get a contract, and you were given a budget and you were told what you needed to do, and we were supposed to communicate amongst each other in order to find producers, engineers. We were also supposed to find booking agents, put together a tour. It was pretty cool. And with me having aspirations of one day having something similar to a record label, it was good to kind of get that practice. Even if it might not have been super practical, I don't know how practical it was. You know, I don't own a record label, and I don't know anyone who did, geez. But I do think it was good practice. It kind of helps you get the ball rolling, understand that it's not as easy as people think it is. It's not just go viral on TikTok and, you know, all your dreams come true. All in all, I think this course, or this class, was a very great class. I think it was very insightful. I think it was very informative. It made you dig a little deep. I was familiar with most of the topics, some of them on like the basicest levels. Some of them a little more depth, like copyright and trademark. But just having to do the research, having to do the digging in Google and government-owned websites, it just gives you a deeper depth of knowledge. But I would definitely recommend this class. I didn't have high hopes for it when it started, but it picked up steam very fast, and this was definitely a good class. If you enjoyed this video and you really think it helped you out and you're interested in seeing more, because I don't graduate until 2022, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and you'll be notified whenever I drop the next video in this series. Until next time, I'm Marcus Reynolds.